Let's dive into understanding the basics of strategic thinking. Now, you might be wondering why this is important. Well, strategic thinking helps us see beyond our immediate tasks and consider how those actions fit into the bigger picture. It allows us to anticipate future trends and challenges while making decisions that will benefit us long term. Let's start by defining what strategic thinking actually means. At its core, it's about looking ahead, analyzing information from multiple angles, and planning accordingly. So, if you're tasked with launching a new product line, for example, strategic thinkers would consider not just the initial launch, but also future expansions or adaptations based on market feedback. Now, to develop your own strategic thinking skills, begin by gathering as much relevant data as possible. This might involve researching competitors, analyzing industry trends, and understanding customer needs. Once you have all this information, break it down into key points that will influence your strategy. Next, think critically about these points. Ask yourself questions like, what are the potential risks? What opportunities could arise from certain decisions? How does this align with our long-term goals? This process of questioning helps identify the most impactful areas to focus on. Another crucial aspect of strategic thinking is foresight. Imagine different scenarios and predict how your actions will affect future outcomes. For instance, launching a new product might initially boost sales, but could also require additional resources for maintenance or updates down the line. Additionally, don't forget about adaptability. As circumstances change, be prepared to adjust your strategy accordingly. Flexibility is key in strategic planning because it enables you to navigate challenges and capitalize on opportunities as they arise. Lastly, involve others in the process. Collaboration brings diverse perspectives which can lead to more comprehensive strategies. Engage with team members, stakeholders, or even external experts when necessary. In conclusion, mastering strategic thinking involves analyzing data thoroughly, questioning assumptions critically, foreseeing future impacts, staying adaptable, and collaborating effectively. By incorporating these elements into your decision-making process, you'll be better equipped to tackle challenges and seize opportunities in a way that drives long-term success for yourself and your organization. Today, we're going to dive into the world of leadership and explore how leaders play a pivotal role in strategic decision-making. A leader's involvement goes beyond just making decisions. It involves guiding their team through complex challenges and ensuring that everyone is aligned with the organization's goals. First off, let's talk about vision. Leaders need to have a clear understanding of where the company wants to go and what its long-term objectives are. This vision serves as a North Star for all strategic decisions. For instance, if your business aims to become a high-ticket player in a competitive market, your leader must ensure that every decision aligns with this goal. Next up is creating alignment among team members. Leaders need to communicate the why behind each decision and how it contributes to achieving those long-term objectives. This includes breaking down complex strategies into actionable steps for everyone on the team to understand their role in making things happen. For example, if a leader decides to invest in new technology to improve efficiency, they should explain how this investment supports reaching high-value customers. Leaders also need to foster an environment where creativity and innovation thrive. By encouraging team members to think outside the box and come up with unique solutions, leaders can uncover opportunities that might not be apparent at first glance. This creative thinking is crucial for staying ahead of competitors and tackling nitty-gritty details effectively. Another key aspect is risk management. Leaders must weigh potential risks against rewards when making strategic decisions. They should consider factors like market trends, financial stability, and regulatory compliance to ensure that the organization remains resilient in the face of challenges. For instance, investing in a new product line might bring high returns, but also carries significant risks. Leaders need to assess both sides carefully. Leadership isn't just about decision-making. It's also about building relationships within and outside the organization. By engaging with stakeholders and partners, leaders can gather valuable insights that inform strategic choices and create opportunities for growth through collaboration. To wrap up, effective leadership in strategic decision-making involves setting a clear vision, aligning team members, fostering innovation, managing risks, and building strong relationships. These elements work together to ensure that decisions are well-rounded and contribute to the overall success of the organization. Well, imagine you're standing at the edge of a vast ocean, looking out towards the horizon where all your dreams and aspirations are waiting to be discovered. That's what crafting an organizational vision feels like. It's about setting sail towards that distant destination with clear goals in mind. Today, we're going to dive into how to create this guiding light for your organization. First off, let's understand why a strong vision is so important. It acts as the compass for everyone involved in your team or company. It shapes their decisions and helps them stay focused on what truly matters. Think of it like a lighthouse guiding ships safely through treacherous waters to reach their destination. Now, how do you go about crafting this vision? Start by identifying your core purpose. Why does your organization exist? What problem are you solving for your customers or clients? It's not just about making money, but about providing value and fulfilling a need in the market. Once you have that clear understanding, it's easier to build on top of it. Next, think about where you want to be in 5 years or even 10 years down the line. What milestones do you envision reaching? This will help you set those intermediate goals and keep moving forward steadily towards your ultimate vision. It's like plotting out a map for your journey, knowing each step helps you stay on course. Don't forget about the impact you want to have on society or within your industry as well. Being socially responsible can make a huge difference in how people perceive your organization, especially high-ticket clients who are increasingly looking for companies that align with their values too. Now, let's talk about making this vision inspiring and motivating for everyone involved. Use vivid imagery and emotion-rich language to paint a picture of success. For example, instead of saying we want to increase sales, say something like our goal is to light up homes across the city with innovative technology that brings joy and convenience into people's lives. Finally, once you've crafted your vision statement, share it widely within your organization. Make sure everyone understands its importance and how their individual contributions fit into achieving this big picture. Regularly revisit and refine your vision as needed, ensuring it stays relevant and inspiring. In conclusion, crafting an organizational vision is a crucial step towards success. It provides clarity, direction, and inspiration for all team members to work cohesively towards common goals. So take the time to think deeply about what drives your organization forward and how you can make that vision compelling and achievable. Today, we're diving into something really important for your personal and professional growth, defining your mission statement. So let's get started. Your mission statement is essentially your guiding light, helping you stay focused on what truly matters to you. It's like having a compass that always points towards where you want to go. When crafting yours, think about the core values that drive you. What makes you tick? What are your passions and strengths? Let's say you're really passionate about helping others. That could be a key component of your mission statement. Maybe you're great with numbers and enjoy solving financial puzzles for businesses. Your mission might include becoming a high-ticket consultant in this area. Now, think about the impact you want to make. Do you want to mentor young entrepreneurs? Or perhaps create products that simplify people's lives? Whatever it is, it should reflect your unique purpose. To start building your statement, jot down some key words and phrases that resonate with you. For example, empowering individuals, innovative solutions, leadership development, community impact. Once you have a few ideas written down, try combining them into one sentence or short paragraph. It might sound something like this. My mission is to empower individuals through innovative financial solutions and mentorship, creating lasting positive impacts in both personal and professional lives. Remember, your mission statement should be specific enough to guide your decisions, but flexible enough to evolve with you as you grow. All right, so once you have your initial draft, take some time to reflect on it. Is this truly reflecting what's important to you? Maybe share it with someone close who knows you well and get their feedback. And there you go. You've got a mission statement that serves as the foundation for all your future endeavors. It'll help keep you motivated, focused, and true to yourself. So take these steps, craft your unique mission statement, and let it guide you on your journey. Let's dive into understanding how to identify our strengths and weaknesses today. It's all about knowing ourselves better so we can make smart choices in life and work. First off, think about what you're really good at. Maybe you're great with numbers or have a knack for problem solving. These are your strengths, the things that come naturally to you and make you shine. When you know these strengths, it's like having a superpower that helps you succeed in areas you love. Next up is acknowledging our weaknesses. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but recognizing what we struggle with allows us to improve or work around them. For instance, if public speaking isn't your thing, knowing this can help you find other ways to communicate effectively. To identify both strengths and weaknesses, start by reflecting on situations where you excelled or faced challenges. Look for patterns in your experiences that highlight these traits. Also, consider feedback from others' friends, family, colleagues. They often see things we don't notice about ourselves. Another helpful method is taking assessments or quizzes designed to pinpoint personal strengths and areas needing improvement. There are plenty of free online tools you can use, but remember to approach them with an open mind and critical thinking. Once you've identified your strengths and weaknesses, make a plan for how you'll leverage those strengths and work on improving any weaknesses. For example, if teamwork is one of your strengths, seek out collaborative projects or roles where this skill can shine. If time management is challenging, try tools like calendars or to-do lists to help stay organized. In conclusion, knowing your strengths and weaknesses gives you a clearer picture of who you are and what you're capable of achieving. By embracing your strengths and addressing your weaknesses, you'll be better equipped to reach your goals and lead a more fulfilling life. All right, today we're going to dive into analyzing opportunities and threats, which is an essential part of any successful business strategy. Picture this. You're about to launch a new product or service, but before you do, you want to make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. That's where opportunity and threat analysis comes in. First off, let's define what we mean by opportunities and threats. Opportunities are external factors that could give your business an edge. Think market trends, technology advancements, or changes in consumer preferences. On the flip side, threats are those pesky things that could potentially hold you back, maybe increased competition, regulatory changes, or shifts in economic conditions. Now, how do we go about identifying these opportunities and threats? Well, a good place to start is by looking at your current situation. Ask yourself questions like, what skills does your team have? Are there any gaps in the market that could be filled by your product or service? Also, consider broader trends, what's happening locally and globally that might affect your business. But don't just stop there. It's also crucial to look outside your immediate environment for inspiration. Attend industry conferences, read trade magazines, engage with customers on social media. This will help you spot emerging trends early. Once you've gathered all this information, it's time to evaluate each potential opportunity and threat. Ask yourself, how significant is this? Can we capitalize on it quickly? For threats, consider how severe they might be and what actions can be taken to mitigate their impact. Let's take a quick look at an example. Suppose your business sells high-ticket home decor items online. An opportunity could be the growing trend of people decorating their homes with unique, artisanal pieces. A threat might be rising shipping costs eating into profit margins. To capitalize on that opportunity, you could partner with artisans to feature their work exclusively. For dealing with the threat, perhaps you could negotiate better rates with carriers or offer free local delivery options. Remember, this analysis isn't a one-time deal. You need to keep an eye on these factors continuously because markets and conditions can change rapidly. Regular reviews will help you stay agile and responsive. So there you have it. Analyzing opportunities and threats is all about staying ahead of the game, by knowing what's happening both inside your business and outside in the broader market landscape. This way, you're always ready to seize new chances while protecting against potential risks. Today, we're diving into an essential tool for any leader looking to achieve success: SMART goal setting. So let's get started by understanding what makes up a SMART goal. A SMART goal is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Each element plays a crucial role in making your goals clear and attainable. Let's break this down further. When you set a specific goal, you're defining exactly what it is you want to achieve. It's not about being vague or general. Specificity helps clarify your focus and gives you a better idea of how you'll measure success. For example, instead of saying "I want to improve my leadership skills," say something like "I aim to lead a successful project by the end of this quarter." Next up is measurability. This means setting clear criteria for measuring progress towards achieving your goal. It helps keep you accountable and motivated because you can see tangible progress being made. For instance, if your specific goal was to improve your leadership skills, you could measure success by tracking how many times you've successfully managed a team project or received positive feedback from peers. Achievability is another key component. You want your goals to be challenging yet realistic. Setting unrealistic expectations can lead to disappointment and frustration. It's important to assess what resources you have available and whether the goal fits within your current capabilities, while also considering any necessary steps for growth. Relevance comes into play by ensuring that your goals align with broader objectives or mission statements. Relevant goals contribute directly to achieving long-term dreams and aspirations, making them more meaningful and impactful. Lastly, every SMART goal should be time-bound. Setting a deadline helps create urgency, which can motivate you to take action and stay focused on the task at hand. It also allows you to break down your progress into manageable milestones, keeping momentum going throughout the process. Now that we've covered all aspects of SMART goals, let's consider how they benefit leadership success specifically. Effective leaders who set clear, achievable goals are more likely to inspire their teams and achieve organizational objectives. By following a structured approach like SMART goal setting, you can lead your team towards shared vision and purpose with clarity and confidence. To wrap things up, remember that SMART goal setting isn't just about achieving personal ambitions, it's also about guiding others towards success. So the next time you're planning out your leadership strategy or helping someone else set their goals, keep these principles in mind. Today, we're diving into an essential aspect of team management: aligning team objectives with organizational goals. It's crucial because when teams understand how their work contributes to the bigger picture, they become more motivated and effective. Let's start by understanding what organizational goals are. These are the overarching aims that guide an entire organization, things like increasing market share or improving customer satisfaction. Now, here's where team objectives come into play. Team objectives should be specific milestones that support these larger goals. For example, if your company wants to increase sales of high-ticket items by 20%, your sales team might have the objective of closing more deals with those products. Aligning like this ensures everyone is working towards the same end. But how do you make sure teams are aligned properly? Start by communicating these goals clearly and often. Don't just set them once a year. Keep reminding your teams about their importance. Next, involve team members in setting their own objectives so they feel invested and understand how their work fits into the bigger picture. Another key step is regular check-ins to discuss progress towards those goals. This could be weekly or monthly meetings where you review what's been accomplished and address any obstacles that might come up. Remember, feedback should go both ways. Teams need to know if they're on track for success, but leaders also need to hear from team members about potential challenges. It's also important to celebrate successes along the way. Recognizing achievements helps reinforce positive behavior and keeps everyone motivated. Maybe it's a shout-out at a meeting or an end-of-year bonus for achieving significant milestones. Lastly, Aligning objectives with goals means being flexible enough to adjust as needed. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to pivot strategies to better support the overall mission. This adaptability shows teams that their efforts are valued and responsive to changing conditions. In conclusion, aligning team objectives with organizational goals is key for driving success within your organization. By clearly communicating these aims, involving everyone in setting objectives, regularly reviewing progress, celebrating achievements, and being flexible when necessary, you can ensure all parts of the company work harmoniously towards shared goals. So let's dive right into developing a detailed action plan today. Now, an action plan is essentially your roadmap to achieving specific goals. It tells you exactly what steps to take and when to take them. To start off, you'll want to clearly define the goal or objective that you're aiming for. This could be anything from increasing sales in your business to improving your fitness level. Once you've got your goal set, break it down into smaller, manageable tasks. Think of these as building blocks that will lead you to accomplishing your overall aim. For instance, if your goal is to start a successful blog, one task might be researching and choosing the right platform to host your blog on. That's an important first step. Now, let's talk about timelines. Assign realistic deadlines for each of these tasks so you know when they need to get done by. It helps to break things down into shorter time periods like days or weeks rather than months or years. This way, you can stay focused and motivated knowing there are regular checkpoints along the way. Next up is resource allocation, figuring out what tools, materials, and support you'll need for each task. For example, if your goal involves learning a new skill, you might need to enroll in courses, buy relevant books or software, and perhaps find mentors who can guide you through the process. Don't forget about potential obstacles or challenges that may arise during this journey. Identifying these early on will help you prepare strategies for overcoming them. Maybe there are regulatory hurdles if your goal is related to starting a business, or language barriers if your project involves international collaboration. Now comes the execution phase, actually carrying out those tasks according to the timeline and using the resources allocated. Stay focused and keep track of progress regularly. Regular check-ins will help you stay on course and make adjustments as needed based on what's working and what isn't. Lastly, review your action plan periodically throughout the process. Reflecting on how things are going allows for necessary tweaking and ensures everything stays aligned with your ultimate goal. Remember, flexibility is key here. Be prepared to adapt if circumstances change or new information becomes available. So there you have it. That's how you develop a detailed action plan. By breaking down goals into manageable tasks, setting timelines, allocating resources, anticipating challenges, executing the plan, and reviewing progress regularly, you'll be well on your way to achieving those high-ticket objectives. Let's dive into how to allocate resources for effective execution. Imagine you're planning an event. You wouldn't just throw everything together without considering who does what, right? Same goes for any project or task at work. The key is to identify your goals first and then assess the resources needed to achieve them. So let's start by breaking down our project into manageable tasks. Each task will require specific skills, tools, time, and perhaps budget. That's where we'll allocate our resources accordingly. Now, think about it this way. If you're building a high-ticket item, wouldn't you want the most skilled craftsman for that job? Of course. When assigning roles, consider strengths and weaknesses of your team members. It's all about matching skills with tasks to ensure smooth execution. Also, don't forget about timelines. Allocate enough time for each task while keeping deadlines in mind. Now let's talk about tools and technology. Investing in the right tools can make a huge difference. For instance, using project management software like Asana or Trello could help streamline communication and progress tracking. Remember, though, it's not just about buying shiny new gadgets. You also need to train your team on how to use them effectively. Another important aspect is budgeting. Determine the total resources required for each task and then allocate funds accordingly. Always have a contingency plan. Two unexpected expenses do happen. Lastly, communication plays a big role here. Regular check-ins help keep everyone aligned with goals and progress. Transparency is key. Make sure your team knows what's happening at all times. In conclusion, allocating resources effectively means understanding your project inside out, from the nitty-gritty details to overarching goals. By matching skills with tasks, investing in tools, managing budgets wisely, and maintaining open communication lines, you set yourself up for success. Today, we're diving into identifying risks and challenges, which is crucial for any project you take on. Let's break it down step by step to see how we can tackle this effectively. First thing first, what exactly are risks and challenges? Risks are potential issues that could happen in the future, while challenges are current obstacles standing in your way right now. Understanding these two concepts will help us pinpoint areas where we might need extra attention. Now, let's talk about identifying them. Start by gathering all relevant information from team members, stakeholders, and historical data if available. This gives you a comprehensive view of potential risks and ongoing challenges. Then brainstorm possible scenarios that could arise during the project. Don't hesitate to think creatively here, because some risks might not be obvious at first glance. Next up is evaluating these risks and challenges. Assess each one based on likelihood and impact, giving them scores or rankings as needed. This helps prioritize which ones require immediate action versus those you can monitor more closely over time. Once you've done that, it's time to come up with strategies for handling each risk and challenge. These could range from preventive measures to contingency plans in case something goes wrong. Lastly, don't forget about monitoring these risks throughout the project lifecycle. Regular check-ins will ensure any changes or new threats are addressed quickly before they become major issues. So there you have it. Identifying risks and challenges is all about gathering information, brainstorming potential scenarios, evaluating likelihood and impact, developing strategies, and then continuously monitoring progress to stay ahead of any problems that might arise. Let's dive into how we can effectively implement risk mitigation strategies to protect our projects from potential threats. Risk management is all about identifying vulnerabilities early on so you can proactively address them before they become major issues. First things first, start by thoroughly assessing the risks involved in your project. Break down each task or phase and think critically about what could go wrong. For example, if you're launching a high-ticket product, consider everything from manufacturing delays to supply chain disruptions. Once you've identified these potential hazards, prioritize them based on their likelihood of occurring and the impact they would have should they materialize. This helps you focus your resources where they'll do the most good. Say you're running an online marketing campaign, you might worry about data breaches or ad fraud affecting your ROI. Now that we know what risks to watch out for, let's talk about strategies to mitigate them. For instance, if a project is susceptible to delays due to dependencies on external suppliers, consider diversifying your supplier base or establishing backup agreements so you have options should one fall through. Another key strategy is building in buffers and contingencies into schedules and budgets. This way, even if something unexpected happens, you're not scrambling at the last minute. It's like having a safety net when doing high-risk activities. It doesn't mean accidents won't happen, but they'll be less damaging overall. Don't forget about regular monitoring and review of risks throughout your project lifecycle too. Risks can evolve as the project progresses, so staying vigilant is crucial. Set up checkpoints to reassess and adjust strategies if needed. This nitty-gritty work pays off in the long run by keeping you agile and responsive to changing circumstances. Finally, communicate these plans clearly with all stakeholders involved. Make sure everyone knows what risks are being managed and how they're being handled. Transparency builds trust and ensures alignment across teams. So there you have it. Assess your risks carefully, prioritize them appropriately, then deploy targeted mitigation strategies while staying flexible enough to adapt as needed. With this approach, You'll be better equipped to face whatever challenges come your way and keep your projects on track. All right, everyone. Welcome to today's session on enhancing communication skills for leaders. We're going to dive right into it by exploring some key strategies that can help you become a more effective communicator. First things first, let's talk about active listening. This isn't just hearing the words being spoken, but really engaging with what your team members are saying. It means giving them your full attention and showing that you understand their points. When someone finishes speaking, try summarizing what they said to ensure comprehension. Next up is clarity. Leaders need to be clear in conveying ideas and instructions so there's no room for confusion. Avoid using jargon or overly complicated language unless it's necessary. Break down complex concepts into simpler terms where possible. Then we have feedback. Providing constructive feedback is crucial but can sometimes feel challenging, especially when you're giving criticism. Remember to balance positive comments with areas needing improvement and always frame your feedback in a way that promotes growth. Another important aspect is storytelling. Leaders who can tell compelling stories are often more engaging and memorable. Use anecdotes or case studies to illustrate points and connect emotionally with your team members. Lastly, let's not forget about body language and tone of voice. These nonverbal cues play a huge role in communication too. Make sure you're making eye contact, smiling when appropriate, and using an upbeat tone even during challenging conversations. To wrap up, enhancing your communication skills as a leader involves active listening, clear speaking, providing balanced feedback, telling stories, and paying attention to body language and tone of voice. By practicing these tips, you'll find yourself connecting better with team members and leading more effectively. Today, we're talking about developing decision-making abilities. Now, let's dive right in because making good decisions isn't just about choosing wisely. It's also about understanding your options and knowing when to act. To start off, think of decision-making as an ongoing process rather than a one-time event. It involves gathering information, evaluating the pros and cons, considering potential outcomes, and then finally taking action. So how do you improve this skill? First, learn to gather high-quality information from reliable sources. This might mean talking to experts or doing some deep research yourself. Next comes analyzing all that data. Break it down into manageable chunks and look at each piece individually before putting them together for the big picture view. Now here's a tip. When weighing your options, don't just focus on what you want. Consider also the consequences of each decision. This means thinking about how your choice will impact others as well as yourself in both the short term and long run. Another key aspect is developing intuition. While facts are important, sometimes gut feelings can guide you towards better decisions too. Trusting your instincts doesn't mean ignoring evidence, though. It's more about balancing hard data with a sense of what feels right. And don't forget about flexibility. Being open to changing your mind based on new information shows maturity and adaptability. It also helps avoid getting stuck in one rigid thought pattern that might not serve you well. Lastly, practice makes perfect when it comes to decision-making abilities. The more decisions you make, the better you'll get at identifying patterns and learning from both successes and failures. So there you have it. Gather your facts, analyze carefully, consider consequences broadly, trust your instincts, stay flexible, and keep practicing. These tips will help you become a more confident and competent decision-maker in any situation you face. Today, we're diving into the world of monitoring progress and performance metrics. It's crucial for any business to keep an eye on how well they're doing, right? So let's talk about why it matters and how you can do it effectively. First off, understanding your key performance indicators is like having a compass that guides you in the right direction. These KPIs are specific measures used to evaluate success or progress towards strategic objectives. They could be anything from sales numbers, customer satisfaction scores, or productivity levels. The nitty-gritty here is making sure these metrics align with what's important for your business. Now, let's talk about how you can monitor all this data effectively. Regular check-ins are a must. Whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly, decide on a schedule that works best for your team and stick to it. This consistency helps everyone stay focused on the goals at hand. When you review these metrics regularly, it allows you to identify trends early and make adjustments as needed. Another tip is to use dashboards or visualization tools. These can help present complex data in an easy-to-understand format. Think of them like traffic lights for your business. Green means everything's on track. Yellow might indicate a need for attention. Red could signal something you urgently need to address. Speaking of adjustments, don't forget about feedback loops. When reviewing performance metrics, gather insights from all levels within the organization. This can help pinpoint areas that may need improvement and celebrate successes as well. It's not just about numbers, it's also about people and processes working together seamlessly. Finally, let's talk about setting benchmarks for success. Comparing your current performance against industry standards or historical data helps you gauge where you stand relative to others in the field. This competitive analysis can provide valuable insights into what strategies might work best for your business moving forward. In conclusion, monitoring progress and performance metrics is all about staying informed, making smart decisions, and achieving your goals efficiently. By regularly reviewing these key indicators, using visualization tools, incorporating feedback loops, and setting benchmarks, you'll be better equipped to steer your business towards success. Well, let's dive into this today by thinking about something really important in our learning journey: adapting strategies based on feedback. Picture yourself playing a game where you're trying to reach the highest level possible. At first, you might have your go-to moves and strategies, but as you start getting feedback from other players or even yourself, you realize there are better ways to play. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today: how to take that feedback and use it to improve our strategies. So let's break this down step by step. First off, when you receive feedback, don't just take it at face value. Think critically about where the information is coming from. Is it from an expert or someone who knows the subject well? Or maybe it's from a peer who can offer a different perspective. Once you've evaluated the source, consider how applicable this feedback is to your specific situation. Now comes the exciting part: adapting those strategies based on what you've learned. Imagine you're trying to solve a high-ticket problem in your project or learning task. The key here is flexibility. If one approach isn't working out, don't be afraid to mix it up and try something else. Maybe switch from a collaborative team effort to an individual brainstorming session. Or perhaps change the order of tasks to see if that improves efficiency. Let's talk about some practical examples. Say you're studying for an exam and your initial study plan isn't yielding great results. You might decide to adjust your strategy by incorporating more interactive quizzes or seeking out a tutor who can provide personalized guidance. Another scenario could be in a business setting, where feedback from customers indicates that a certain product feature is confusing them. In response, you might adapt the user interface to simplify it or even change the way the feature operates entirely. Remember, adapting strategies doesn't mean throwing everything away and starting over. It's about making small tweaks here and there based on what you learn along the way. The goal is continuous improvement. A little bit at a time can lead to big changes over time. So as we wrap up today's session, let's recap. First, evaluate your feedback source, then think critically about how it applies to you or your situation. Adapt your strategies accordingly, and keep iterating based on the results. By following these steps, you'll be better equipped to handle any challenges that come your way. That's all for today. I hope this gives you some new tools to work with when adapting your own strategies based on feedback. Today, we're diving into an essential skill for any team environment: fostering collaboration and teamwork. Imagine you've got a group of high-caliber individuals all working towards a common goal. The magic happens when they start collaborating effectively. So let's break down how to make that happen. First off, it starts with setting clear goals and expectations. When everyone knows what they're aiming for, it's easier to align their efforts. Think of it like lining up ducks behind a leader heading towards the pond. Clear direction makes things move smoothly. Next up is building trust within the team. Trust is the foundation of any strong partnership or collaboration. To build this, encourage open communication and transparency. Share successes, but also be brave enough to admit mistakes. When team members see that everyone is committed to honesty and accountability, they'll naturally start trusting each other more. Another key element is promoting diversity of thought. A team with varied perspectives brings unique ideas to the table. It's like having a palette full of different colors. You can create something truly beautiful when you mix them together creatively. Foster this by encouraging everyone to share their viewpoints and challenging assumptions respectfully. Equally important is recognizing individual strengths and assigning roles accordingly. This ensures that tasks are completed efficiently and effectively because people are working in areas they're naturally good at or passionate about. It's like putting your best players on the field for a big game. You know where they shine, so why not capitalize on it? Finally, don't forget to celebrate successes along the way. Acknowledging milestones helps keep morale high and motivates team members to continue striving towards the ultimate goal. Recognition can be as simple as a shout-out in a meeting or a more formal celebration. So there you have it, setting clear goals, building trust, embracing diversity of thought, leveraging individual strengths, and celebrating successes together all contribute to fostering strong collaboration and teamwork within your group. Today, we're going to talk about how to foster innovation and creativity in our classrooms and workplaces. It's all about creating an environment where ideas can flow freely and everyone feels encouraged to contribute their unique perspectives. Let's start by thinking about what makes someone feel comfortable sharing their thoughts. First off, it's important to establish a supportive atmosphere where people aren't afraid of making mistakes. When we celebrate those little failures as learning opportunities, creativity flourishes. Think about how you can make this happen in your space. Maybe start by acknowledging the effort behind an idea rather than just its outcome. Another key factor is giving your team or students room to explore their own interests. This could be through project-based learning, where they pick topics that genuinely excite them, or even just setting aside time for experimentation and play. When people are engaged in something they're passionate about, the creativity just flows out naturally. Now, let's talk about collaboration. Bringing diverse minds together can spark amazing innovations because different perspectives challenge each other and lead to new ideas. So encourage your team members to work together on projects and share their unique viewpoints. This isn't just about working well together, it's about learning from one another. Lastly, don't forget the power of feedback. Constructive criticism can help refine ideas and push them further than they would have gone alone. Make sure this feedback is balanced with encouragement so that no one feels discouraged or afraid to try new things. It's all about nurturing a growth mindset where every challenge is seen as an opportunity. So there you have it, some key ways to encourage innovation and creativity in any setting. By supporting a positive atmosphere, giving people space to explore their interests, fostering collaboration, and providing constructive feedback, we can unlock incredible potential and see ideas that might otherwise never have come to light. Let's dive right into understanding how we measure the impact of strategic decisions in today's business environment. First off, why is this important? Well, imagine you're making big moves for your company, launching a new product, expanding to a new market, or even changing your entire business model. These are high-ticket decisions that can really change the game for your organization. But how do you know if they're successful? Let's start by talking about key performance indicators, or KPI. These are like the scorecards of your strategy. They help you track progress towards your goals and spot any issues early on. For instance, if you launched a new product, one of your KPIs might be sales volume or market share. By monitoring these metrics closely, you can see how well your product is performing. Now, let's talk about return on investment, or ROI. This tells you how profitable your strategic decision has been. If launching that new product brought in more revenue than it cost to develop and distribute, then your ROI is positive, which means the move was worthwhile. But wait, there's more. We shouldn't just look at financial metrics. Customer satisfaction, employee engagement, and brand reputation can all be impacted by strategic decisions too. For example, a new marketing campaign might increase customer loyalty or improve your company's image among stakeholders. It's also crucial to consider long-term effects versus short-term gains. Sometimes, you have to think ahead about how today's decision will influence tomorrow's business landscape. For instance, investing in technology now could give you a competitive edge years down the line. Finally, let's not forget about risk assessment. Every strategic choice comes with potential downsides. By evaluating these risks upfront and having contingency plans ready, you can better manage any negative impacts that might occur. So there you have it. Measuring the impact of your strategic decisions involves looking at KPIs, ROI, broader metrics like customer satisfaction, long-term outlooks, and risk assessment. This comprehensive approach helps ensure that your big moves are truly beneficial for your business. That's all for today's lesson on measuring the impact of strategic decisions. Today, we're diving into the world of leadership performance reflection, a critical component for any leader looking to improve their skills and effectiveness. So let's get started by asking ourselves some key questions. First up, how do we measure our own success as leaders? It starts with identifying your strengths and weaknesses, understanding where you excel and where there might be room for improvement. Now, reflecting on leadership performance isn't just about looking at the big wins or the major failures. It's about getting into the nitty-gritty details of what happened day to day. Think about specific situations where you led a team or tackled a challenge. What went well? Where did things fall short? It's also important to consider feedback from others, whether that's direct reports, peers, or even mentors. They can provide valuable insights into how your leadership style is perceived and areas for growth. Another aspect to reflect on is the impact of your decisions. Did they lead to positive outcomes? Were there unintended consequences you hadn't anticipated? Learning from these experiences helps you make better choices in the future. Lastly, don't forget about personal development goals. Are you actively working towards becoming a more effective leader? Setting and tracking these objectives can help keep you focused on continuous improvement. So let's take some time now to jot down our reflections based on what we've discussed today. Think about your leadership journey so far and the lessons learned along the way. Remember, every experience, whether positive or negative, contributes to your growth as a leader. In conclusion, reflecting on leadership performance is an ongoing process that helps us stay attuned to our strengths and areas for improvement. By regularly engaging in this practice, we can refine our skills, better support our teams, and ultimately achieve greater success both personally and professionally. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through effective leadership through strategic thinking. Over these past few weeks, we've covered a wide range of topics that are essential for leaders who want to make impactful decisions and guide their teams towards success. We began by exploring the basics of strategic thinking and understanding how leaders play a crucial role in shaping the future direction of an organization. From there, we delved into developing a strong vision and mission statement, which serve as the foundation for any successful strategy. Next, we examined SWOT analysis, learning how to identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within your team or organization. This process is key to making informed decisions that capitalize on existing assets while mitigating potential risks. Then came the section on setting strategic goals using SMART criteria, ensuring objectives are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We also discussed strategy implementation planning and risk management, emphasizing the importance of allocating resources effectively and putting mitigation strategies in place to handle any challenges that arise along the way. Throughout these lessons, we highlighted the significance of enhancing communication skills and developing strong decision-making abilities as core leadership competencies for strategic success. To wrap things up, we explored continuous improvement techniques such as monitoring progress through performance metrics and adapting strategies based on feedback from team members or stakeholders. We also touched on building a culture that fosters collaboration, teamwork, innovation, and creativity within your teams to drive better outcomes overall. The most important takeaway is that strategic thinking isn't just about planning for the future. It's also about embracing change and being agile enough to adjust your plans when necessary. By applying these principles, you'll be able to lead more effectively and make decisions that positively impact both your team and organization as a whole. I encourage you to take what you've learned here today and apply it in your professional life, whether you're managing a small project or leading an entire department. Remember, leadership is about continuous growth and improvement, so keep refining your skills and seeking out new opportunities for development. As we conclude this course, I wish each of you success in all your future endeavors. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need further guidance as you implement these strategies. Additionally, don't forget to leave a review or connect with me online. I'd love to hear about how this course has helped you become a more effective leader through strategic thinking. Thank you once again for being part of this learning journey, and all the best in your leadership pursuit.